Welcome friends, families, and classmates. I've had the honor and privilege of serving all of you as the CSU Pueblo Student Body President this past year. I will begin with a quote by Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu. Do the difficult things while they are easy, and do the great things while they are small. A journey of 1,000 miles must begin with a single step. Today, after spending basically the whole of our lives in school, we are graduating college and standing at the doorway to our life's journey. A mix of excitement and trepidation are all the emotions we face today. We have an overall concept of what we want our life to be or what we eventually want to become, but don't be surprised when you someday find yourself in a completely different space than what you set out for or intended. But that is what you've been trained for. Your college experience has given you the tools that you will need to navigate the ever-changing world that we are all about to embark upon. Don't fear change, embrace it, and encourage it. Perfection is not the goal. Don't be fooled into thinking that perfection is needed to obtain your goals and aspirations. It's all too easy to become fixated on being perfect. But perfection is not the goal. Goals must be measurable and achievable. Perfection can be neither of these. The quest for perfection can lead to a condition known as analysis paralysis. In a YouTube video by Father Mike Schmitz, a priest at the University of Minnesota Duluth, he talks about two different software companies in the Silicon Valley during the software technology boom. Both companies had a similar product. However, the two companies had completely different business strategies. Company A took a strategy of waiting to release their product until it was perfect, while Company B, on the other hand, put a higher priority on releasing the product to the public, knowing that the software was not quite perfected. Company's B motto was, "Done is better than perfect." Because of this, Company B released their product to the market immediately, knowing that eventually their product would be perfected over time. I think we can all assume which company ended up being more successful. For those of you who are unsure, it was Company B. Every one of you graduating today is a very good product that is ready to show the world what you are capable of doing. You are not perfect and never will be. However, do not let this hold you back. If you wait for the perfect opportunity to present itself to you before taking this leap, then your career and life will never take off. Knowing that perfection is an unattainable goal, it should always be the target rather than the expectation. For when we strive for perfection and eventually fall short, we are all still considered great. But when we strive to be great and eventually fall short, then we will always be considered average. Keep in mind that you will fail. Now that it's been established that you're not perfect, you should also know that at some point you will face failure. Maybe a job, a personal goal, a marriage. You can even fail to fail. Failure is just a part of life. Failure is inevitable. It does not mean, though, that you are a failure. How you respond to your failures will determine and define you as a person and will determine how you overcome those setbacks. History is full of great people who have failed only to rebound in amazing ways. We all heard the story of Thomas Edison, who failed more than 1,000 times before eventually creating a light bulb. When asked later on about his failures in the light bulb, his response is as relevant today as it has ever been. Edison explained that instead of failing 1,000 times, he discovered 1,000 ways to not make a light bulb. Edison grew with every mistake and eventually achieved his aspirations. This story of failure to success is one of the most famous examples in history. Over the next year, I know many of you will be filling out job applications, excited to finally enter the workforce. You will spend hours upon hours making sure that each cover letter truly represents your talents and achievements, only to get rejected later on. However, you must use this as fuel to apply for the next opportunity. You will encounter rejection and disappointment in your life, but it's your ability to respond to these rejections and failures that will truly represent your future successes. Always be adaptable. So far I've told you that you're not perfect, never will be, and that you're most likely going to encounter failures. This does not sound very promising, does it? But the truth is, You're ready for this. Again, your education here at CSU Pueblo has more to do with learning how to adapt to change and to use critical thinking skills to solve problems. These are truly the skills that identify you as a member of the pack. When you adapt to the adversity of life, you should never give in to the pressures of what others think your story should be. You might be persuaded into pursuing a storyline that promises great fortune, but it might hate every chapter of it. Money and income should not define us as well. A wise man once said, "If you do something you love, you will never work a day in your life. Don't chase money, but rather choose the path of your passion, and the money will come." That wise man is my father. Throughout the past 4 years in college, you've adapted time and time again. This could be the extreme difference between high school and college, switching schedules every semester, or even working 2 jobs just to pay tuition. However, even though this chapter of your life is done, you must still remain strong. Adaptability is simply a part of life. Own your dash. I say this concept to be last because it's one of my favorite mottos to live by. I first heard it from my high school football coach many years ago. When we die and are buried in a grave, the common practice is to place a gravestone at the burial site. The gravestone is often engraved with 3 distinct aspects: the date of birth, a dash, and the date of death. This means that the entire life and legacy of that person is wrapped up into a single dash. This brings up the question, what do you want your dash to represent? What are the highlights of your life that will lead your legacy? By striving for perfection, failing every so often, and fighting through the adversity associated with life changes, I know we will eventually achieve our desired legacy. As we leave today, we do so with much enthusiasm. You've worked hard to get here, and have worked even harder to get out of here. So enjoy today, celebrate your achievements, and remember, own your dash. Thank you.